All right, going to try to keep this one short, but South Carolina suffers a 81-67 loss on the road at LSU on Tuesday night, which is now the 13th straight loss for the Gamecocks, which now puts them at 10-16 on the year and 0-13 in SEC play. And this was another game where South Carolina fell behind relatively early by double digits going into the second half. And the problem was LSU just couldn't seem to miss for most of the game, as the Tigers ended up shooting an even 50% by the end of regulation. But the other problem for the Gamecocks is that LSU was just on fire from three-point range. The Tigers went 13 of 30 from deep, and it's hard to beat a team anytime they shoot that well. But for South Carolina, despite shooting a lot better in the second half, they shot 57% from the floor. In the second half, they also had 18 turnovers, a lot of different mistakes, a slow start. You see where this is going, kind of the same stuff that continues to hurt South Carolina in these games where it's either really close down to the wire, or it's games like this where you fall behind early and you're never really able to get your footing back right. So there were some bright spots in this game. Again, South Carolina did shoot a lot better after the break. And the Gamecocks got a nice performance from Jamari Thomas, who finished with a team-high 23 points tonight. And Colin Murray-Boyles had a decent game, too, with a double-double, 16 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 blocks. But other than that, there's not really much to write home about here. Nick Pringle had as many turnovers as points tonight. 6 turnovers, 6 points. Morris Ugasuk threw an inbound pass into the net for what, I mean, it would have been a great three-point shot in a trick shot contest or something, but alas, it was a turnover since he was out of bounds. So it's just things like that that are continuing to plague South Carolina in any chance of trying to win a game. And speaking of which, it's hard to imagine where a win is going to come with the final 5 games of SEC play. Like, you have a chance to win 3 of your final 5 games, potentially at home. You can probably win one of them right at home. But then again, it's no easy task, considering South Carolina just hasn't proven to be able to do that yet. As you look at KenPom's giving South Carolina about an 8% chance to go defeated this year, which would mean they'd go 0-18 in conference play, becoming the 3rd SEC team to do so within the last decade, which is it's a feat that I don't think many people expected South Carolina to reach this year. It's just been that kind of year for the Gamecocks. So they'll look to break their losing skid on Saturday night when Texas comes to town. That game tips off at 8:30 p.m. on SEC Network. Gamecock Central, as always, will have you covered from start to finish with live updates, game story, you name it, we got it. So that's going to do it for now. Again, South Carolina loses their 13th straight game, 81-67 in Baton Rouge tonight. For GamecockCentral.com, I'm Jack Veltri.